Shuma Drive, founded in 2024, is an application for drivers in South Africa who want to make some money providing safe and reliable rides. The Driver app eases you into your first rides and is designed to meet your needs on every moment of your trips. Let's now bring in Khulufelo Good Hope Ledwaba, founder and group CEO of Shuma Technologies. Khulufelo, welcome to Beats on SABC Lehae. Tell us about Shuma Drive. What is it about?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, Shuma Drive, it's an e-hailing app. It's like your normal existing e-hailing platforms that we have in the country, you know, your Uber and your Bolt. So we are a local technology. We've been piloting from, it was actually, I heard you saying, founded in 2024. We actually started the research and development in 2017. So we've been in the industry for more than 6 years now, you know, researching, understanding the industry, where the problems are, trying to find solution on how can we address. And I mean, we discovered, I grew up in the taxi background. My dad had a taxi. Growing up, and I saw, meter taxi industry, e-hailing guys fighting black-on-black violence. And, you know, I said to myself as an entrepreneur that I am, I need to bring solution and also understanding, you know, economic issues on the ground. And also seeing the treatment on how our brothers are being treated by the current existing platforms, to say what change can I bring in, what change can I make in our industry. You know, we're forever complaining that, you know, we are being exploited, even them always crying that they are being exploited. And I said, let me come up with a solution. And the solution is here. We've piloted Shuma Drive from last year, actually, from March, April, we started, but the official announcement was the 15th of May. We started the pilot, and the pilot, it's successful. We've had over 5,000 rides, you know, during our testing phase in the West Rand. We've piloted in the West Rand. We've partnered with Santaco nationally. We are in talks with NTA, the National Taxi Alliance, because we want to unite the industry. There's no need, you know, having, you know, our brothers, you know, fighting with their dads or their granddads, because the taxi industry, we take it as, you know, our parents' industry. E-hailing, we see it as our, you know, young generation industry, because it's the future of where we are going. So we want to unite, you know, from Shuma side, and also expose other opportunities, you know, like your Shuma Eats, Shuma Courier Services. We'll be launching that soon. We'll be launching our Shuma Eats. So, yeah, that's what Shuma is all about.
All right, you spoke about the research you've made, and then you came up with the fact that, you know, there's a lot of fighting within the industry itself. And you mainly spoke about the industry, but then now let's talk about the consumer or the passenger. You know, are your fees, or your rates going to be affordable?
Okay, how we are building Shuma, we are not building Shuma to provide an expensive, you know, rates or a cheap rates. But we want to provide a service. We want to bring in a service. Currently, on the current platforms, you know, people are forever complaining about the service they are, you know, getting. Where driver is coming, you know, not smelling good, the car is dirty. You know, we want to change all that, where drivers are not presentable. You are not even sure whether you're going to arrive at your destination, you know, safe, or will you even reach your destination? You don't even know this is human trafficking or what. So we want to address the issue of providing a good service to clients. So a service can come in many ways. Can come cheap, can come with, you know, a certain fee. So we want to provide service. So we are not price orientated, but we want to provide a good service. Also looking at is the operator happy with what he's getting? Is the consumer also happy? So meaning we want to bring in fair rates into the market and also providing a good service.
You know, when you spoke about, people complaining that other drivers don't bath, I'm asking myself, are you going to force your drivers to, take a bath before they go to work? Well, I don't know. But anyway, I also wanted to find out about, there's an issue of kidnapping. People are always complaining about kidnapping. How safe is your ride for all genders?
You know what? At the moment, I cannot sit here and lie to you and say, Shuma Drive, there's nothing like that. It's a work in progress. We are still engaging. We are talking to sitters, for training, to make sure that even people that we are onboarding, it's people that we can account for from Shuma side. I mean, when there's issues, during our pilot phase, it has shown us that we are really building a good brand that people can trust. We saw clients that used to hail in other platforms, even coming back to us to say, hey, we are happy to ride on Shuma, because the driver behavior, when they are on our platform, it changes. And I think it's because of people know that they can be easily traced, because number of people left their items, in our rides, and they've managed to call the office, and then we've delivered that. Others calling from rides that they took on other platforms, and then they call us, just with the hope that maybe we might know the driver. And in most cases, we have assisted those people.
When we look at your platform, we understand that, like with iDrive, for instance, you negotiate a price, and then Bolt, you find the price that is there, and then you just select whatever car that is there. But then when it comes to Shuma Drive, how does it work? Do you negotiate? If I'm the passenger, do I negotiate, or do I just take whatever that is there?
No, you don't negotiate. Imagine you climb into a taxi and then it's 15 rand, and then you want to start negotiating with the driver. The price of petrol, sometimes we need to be realistic, from consumer side to say, but even when you see the price, it's saying 15 rand, but this trip, if you are using your car, you would want maybe 100 rand. We need to be realistic. And this is why, going back to your issue of pricing, I want to urge, cry to, consumers to say, sometimes cheap things. This is why we will always be experiencing high crime rate on platforms, because drivers are not happy. Drivers are frustrated as we speak. The reason why the standard of cars have declined over years is because they are on survival mode. They can't afford to pay insurance. They can't afford to fix their cars. Maybe they can't even afford to buy that soap to take a bath. You understand? So us from consumer side, we need to stop this thing of always thinking to say, how cheap is it? You see, because you want a cheap thing, and then that compromises your safety, many things around you. You want to hail for your kids. You want to hail for your elderly parents from wherever you are. But do you want to sit there worried whether they are reaching the destination or what? We need to have, platforms that are safe and reliable, and that's what we are pushing. That is why our motto is safe and reliable.
Khulufelo Good Hope Lidwaba, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, no, thank you very much, sir.
That was Khulufelo Lidwaba, the founder and group CEO of Shuma Technologies. It is an e-hailing company that is growing in South Africa, and it's great to see that black people are doing something for themselves, and the issue of job creation, and also providing services for our people. Let us Welcome back to Beats on SABC Lehae. Condolences continue to pour in after the death of Namibian President Hage Geingob at the age of 82. He had been in hospital receiving treatment for cancer. Geingob served as the country's first prime minister after Namibia's independence from South Africa in 1990. President Cyril Ramaphosa has joined other Southern African leaders in paying tribute to his Namibian counterpart. To pay tribute to the late president, let us welcome Dr. Peya Moshelenga, the Namibian Minister of Information and Communication Technology. He is a chief government spokesperson. Dr. Moshelenga, welcome to Pitso on SABC Lehae. Please paint us a picture of how the mood is in Namibia following the passing of the president.
Well, the mood is that reflects a somber moment because, as you know, the president took ill just a few weeks ago, and everything happened so fast. It was just really on the 19th of January that he was diagnosed with cancer, and the nation was informed. And we all did not think it was that too severe, that we looked forward to him receiving his treatment and resuming duties. The nation is saddened by a departure of this giant of a man who was well liked by many, men of all seasons who interacted with all people from all walks of life. And we really would like to express our sincere condolences to the First Lady and to the children for this sudden loss.
Dr. Moshelenga, kindly share with us Geingob's contribution with SWAPO that led to Namibia gaining independence.
Geingob joined SWAPO in the early 60s. He left for exile 1962, and 1964 he was appointed as a representative of SWAPO to the United Nations in America, and he has been a petitioner at the United Nations. 1976, he was then appointed as director of the United Nations Institute for Namibians. But prior to that, he also worked at the United Nations Council for Namibia. And in 76, he moved to Lusaka, where he was a director of the United Nations Institute for Namibians, a tertiary institution that has been training Namibians and preparing them to come and run the administration of an independent state. He has been a member of the Central Committee and the Politburo of SWAPO. In 1989, he returned home, leading a team of a SWAPO leadership that was coming to campaign for elections. He was the director of elections for SWAPO in 1989 elections, our first democratic elections. And following the election of the Constituent Assembly, he was then elected chairman of the Constituent Assembly. And within a period of 2 months and a half, this Constituent Assembly finalized the writing of the Namibian Constitution. So President Numa appointed him as the first prime minister of our country, and he really set up institutions, administration, the public service of Namibia. He has also served as a Minister of Trade and Industry under the presidency of President Hifikepunye Pohamba, and he also served as Prime Minister again under President Pohamba. And 2015, he became the third president of Namibia. So he has made valuable contribution in terms of liberation struggle for Namibia, and also in terms of nation building and socio-economic development of an independent Namibia.
Doctor, as you've mentioned, after the 1989 elections, he was elected as the chairman of the Constituent Assembly, which was responsible for drafting the constitution in Namibia. Did his involvement in drafting the constitution play a role in making him the leader that he was as the president of the country?
Of course, because as a chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, he knows most of the provisions of the constitution, and therefore it was able for him as a president, it was easy for him to ensure that all those that he's serving with adhere to the constitution. He was a man who followed the constitution to the letter.
So now when we look at his track record since when he came into office in 2015 as the president, what are some of the changes or significant changes that you can pinpoint that he brought to the country in Namibia?
Well, as president, first, he followed into the footsteps of other presidents. He came from a party that had a manifesto and a program building on previous programs. But most importantly, he was keen to bring in youth into the mainstreams of politics. He appointed a number of young people to government, both during his first and his second tenure, and also during his tenure, it saw the increasing number of women taking up important positions in the government. It was during his tenure that we first had a woman prime minister. That was during his tenure of office.
And when we look at Geingob's history, it's very evident that he was an educationist. In the year 1960, he was expelled from the Augustinium for participating in the protest against poor quality of education. And throughout his career, he held various positions regarding the training of political cadres of Namibia. So please tell us about his contribution in developing the state of education and training in Namibia.
Yes, as the president, he was also very much particular about education. He paid particular attention, for example, to the provision of financial assistance of students. He paid particular attention to higher education. He also talked about the importance of vocational training, always emphasizing that it was not just professionals that build countries, but those that have gone through vocational training education are equally important in the development of the country and in building a number of projects in the country.
And recently, Geingob supported South Africa's genocide case against Israel, and he also condemned Namibia's former colonial ruler Germany for opposing the case. How did this tighten relations between South Africa and Namibia?
Of course, the relationship between Namibia and South Africa has already been sound. As you know, the two countries have a binational commission chaired by their two heads of state. And again, now the two countries having been under a common oppressor, they have the same aspirations as far as issues of right to self-determination are concerned. Thus, we found common ground in the issue of Palestine. You should know that Geingob is a president of SWAPO, and also SWAPO held a demonstration here in the country in Namibia, condemning what Israel was doing. So when South Africa took the case to the ICJ, the Namibian government under President Geingob supported that move. And now, when Germany issued the statement that they issued, the president was very much quick to make Namibia's position very clear and condemn Germany, also reminding them of their genocide in Namibia, which is now really equal to the genocide that Israel is committing against the people of Palestine.
Doctor, lastly, in closing, kindly share with us details regarding the memorial service as well as the funeral.
Details of the memorial service and funeral arrangements are not yet out. A committee has been constituted by the President, chaired by the Prime Minister, which started meeting yesterday. As time goes on, it will be deciding on, in consultation with the family, on the issues of the funeral, details and funeral arrangements, and once decided, we will disseminate information accordingly.
Dr. Moshelenga, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
It's my pleasure.
That was Dr. Phea Moshelenga, the Namibian Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, and he's also a chief government spokesperson talking about, of course, the death of the President of Namibia, Hage Geingob, at the age of 82.